This is the Wait For It podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Wait For It podcast. I am your co-host, Phil Barrera, aka Phil the Filipino.
And I'm your other co-host, Mr. Eric Almighty. And for the penultimate episode of The Game Room Where It Happens, we are going to be playing a game that was recommended to us by a member of our Patreon community. And that game is a game that we have not played and we never thought we'd play. And Phil, it's The Wolf Among Us.
It's definitely a game that we gamed.
I did that. I wanted to see if you'd be able to recover from the last episode. You did very well.
Yeah, I did edit that episode or start editing that episode today. So yeah, it's a game that you can game for sure. And yeah, The Wolf Among Us recommended to us by Patreon member Vintage Macaroni, who of course friend of the show, been on the podcast, Retro AV Rewind. So yeah, Eric, the Telltale games are games that we have dove into separately. Of course, well, I mean, obviously they're single-player games, but we dove into them in our own time. As far as our gaming history, we've both played the Walking Dead series, but I have been the one that has played more of them. I've done Guardians of the Galaxy, I've done Jurassic Park, I've done Batman, and, you know, they're all varying levels of good and bad. But The Wolf Among Us is probably right up there with The Walking Dead, like the first few seasons of The Walking Dead, as the best that Telltale has ever had to offer, and really its peak when it comes to storytelling. So this was a great suggestion, and honestly a game we probably should have looked into on our own, Eric. So it's great that we were able to get it recommended here for this episode. And yeah, like you mentioned, penultimate episode of The Game Room Where It Happens. We'll dive more into that here in November as to why that is. But very excited that this is one of the final games that we'll be talking about here this month, Eric, The Wolf Among Us 2013. So we'll get into it here in just a moment. As far as returning listeners and brand new listeners, if you need a reminder as to where to find all the rest of our content and anything else Wait For It podcast related, stick around to the very end. We'll let you know where you can find all of that. But yeah, Eric, The Wolf Among Us, Telltale Games 2013. Boy, I think you could play this game on the 360 and the PS3. Like, that's how long ago this game released. Episodic adventure game developed and published by Telltale. It's based on Bill Willingham's Fables comic book series, to which it serves as a prequel. The game consists of 5 episodes that were released throughout 2013 and 2014. And the player controls Bigsby Wolf, the sheriff of Fabletown, a clandestine community within the 1980s New York City, consisting of various fantastical characters from fairy tales and folklore, and must investigate a series of mysterious murders, the first ones to occur in Fabletown in a very long time. So yeah, Eric, let's get to our takeaways here. We do 3 each if you are new to the podcast. And obviously Telltale games, they have a very specific style. And I haven't necessarily heard of too many people thinking that that's a turnoff. So I will definitely say that this is a positive. I mean, the game really oozes style, like the lighting, like the neon lighting. It's a really gritty portrayal of New York City. It's basically like a fairy tale with it's kind of funny. We talked about LA Noir a couple of months ago, like with a noir style, like crime drama setting. And that is really what makes the game stand out, I think, to this day. Like, stylistically, you really don't see enough games like this, and right off of the bat, like that's definitely one of my favorite things about it.
Yeah, so I mean, I didn't know at what point we were going to be bringing it up, so now I guess I'm going to be bringing up mine, which is exactly that. This is a stylistic game, and the Telltale games are known for the way they look. So like structurally, it's very similar to like my experience. I played the first Walking Dead Telltale game. I never really jumped into more than the first one, but I always remember that one very fondly. And whenever I look at the Telltale games, like, it has a unique, distinct look to it. But this one, Phil, the word you used was style. It very much has a style that I don't know that any of the other ones that I've played at least have. I'd be curious if like a Guardians of the Galaxy had that type of style, but like I wouldn't assume much of that from a Batman or a Walking Dead. Those are going to be a little bit darker, a little bit more grungy. This one was just very much blending in a lot of colors. It had a bunch of different animatics that were happening throughout the game that just were really good. Even the intro always caught my attention as being something a little bit different than what I was used to or expecting. And while I'm not the biggest Telltale gamer, just from my experience alone, this one stood out tremendously in that area.
I will say the Batman one is relatively close because it's Gotham City, so that's going to have a similar aesthetic to like this 1980s New York City. But it's still not as good as what's happening here. We talk a lot about in some of our other episodes when the city itself is its own character within the story. And while we only really spend time at I would say 3 or 4 different places where we spend an extended amount of time within the game, but each one of them are so full of a lived-in world and a backstory down to the name of a store that's next door, and you're like, oh, I wonder what goes on there. I think I'm trying to remember the name of the store that was right next to the apartment complex, but it was very fairy tale based, and I was like, man, that's just really good world building. So yeah, like you said, there's really not much else that I can think of that would really touch this thing stylistically, and from beginning to end, it really is just a treat. It is something that even I could understand if not for there being so many different choices. A lot of people, if they're not going to play a game, will sit down and just watch a gameplay of somebody else's Let's Play and just watch the gameplay out. I would totally understand somebody wanting to do that. However, I would just totally suggest playing it because there are so many different choices. And I can't wait to talk about that probably a little bit later in the episode about, how our games ended, what decisions we made, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I'm not surprised whatsoever that both of our takeaways were as far as the style when it comes to this game. So I'll get into my next one here, Eric, and this is something that obviously we're paying a lot of attention to, and me for sure, is the performances. And there is a project that I'm involved in right now that's coming out very, very soon, that I'm very excited for everybody to hear. I've been gassing it up a lot in the Discord, and that character that I'm playing in that audio drama is definitely very heavily influenced by Bixby, and I'm very excited. I was very excited to see this performance because it's definitely going to affect my performance going forward when I think about how I'm going to portray that character, because the voice acting in this, Eric, is so good, and there's so many interesting characters, and it's something that yeah, this makes a lot of sense that there would be something like this that exists within pop culture, and it really makes me want to dive into the comics and find out more about what happens here. And we'll talk about how sadly we'll probably never see more of these characters ever again. We'll talk about that a little bit later, but yeah, the voice acting performances from top to bottom are really good. Telltale games always have a thing about we've talked about mouth flaps before and some of the other movies or TV shows we've watched, but in a video game, it's kind of interesting because we talked about it in Clair Obscur just very recently, but here it doesn't bother me too much. It's a 12-year-old game. Again, the Telltale style, I think, also helps with that too. So I really loved the performances in this game. I'm curious if you felt the same way.
No, I did as well. And actually, my second takeaway is also about the dialogue, but a little different. And it's going to be exactly what a Telltale game is going to have. So before I even get into that, the dialogue is really good from a performance standpoint, and I do think a lot of the voice acting is done really well. My issue is, of course, with the Telltale games, is some of the dialogue options. There were a couple things. I will say, sometimes I wished I had a little bit more time to make a decision. Sometimes I felt like I had too long. Sometimes I felt like I didn't have enough time. So the dialogue options didn't really bother me as much in that way. What I'm going to mention is the actual dialogue that is spoken when you select it, and that's no different here. So if you're thinking that this game isn't going to be like that and you haven't played it, well, I got news for you. It's just like every other Telltale game where you select something and you're just you select the word stop, or I don't trust you, and then it'll be something so fucking left that it's wow, that's not what I wanted to say at all. This game definitely has those aspects. So while the performances are really good, that is one thing that I don't know that it ruins the experience, but it is one thing that always made me hesitant to jump into more Telltale games, was that clunky dialogue when it comes to some of the choices that are presented to you.
Yeah, I get that. And that's going to be something very prevalent in, of course, all of these games where there are different choices. Like you see a lot of memeable moments from what's that game that Boogie loves for some reason, Detroit Become Human, whatever, whatever the game is. There's a lot of that, and that Heavy Rain is one of those games as well. And you got to wonder if, like, from a writing standpoint, is it just like, I assume it's a lot more difficult to write a game that has a million different dialogue choices. It's very interesting you bring that up because I just watched a video about Mass Effect, like why the Mass Effect series hasn't aged very well. And because all of the supporting characters in the Mass Effect series are incredible, but Shepard has like no personality outside of what you give him and the dialogue you give him. Like in a cutscene, he's kind of just standing around, doesn't have any emotion, which looks really weird because all the characters around him or her, depending on the Shepard you pick, have a ton of emotion going on. But like he's just, or she, or just, they're just standing there. And I think maybe that's something people have also seen in like a, you know, like a Dragon Age or games that have a lot of like dialogue driven decisions. So yeah, I'm sure that plays into it when it comes to the writing the game itself. But yeah, when it came down to like the really important moments as well, you know, the cut scenes, and obviously most of them are interactive cut scenes, you know, the poor performances, specifically Adam Harrington as Bigby was really, really good. And Eric, based off this picture I found of him on Google, I think he was also the drunk captain in Tintin. So I'm gonna pull that up here. Yeah, he was Captain Haddock in Tintin as well. So like, man, what a performer. We gotta interview that guy. I'd be very excited to talk to him about this and of course Tintin. But yeah, no, I see what you're talking about when it comes to like just really out there dialogue. I don't think it was as bad as LA Noir though, right? As far as
no, nothing's ever
Doubt.
as bad as pressing down. It's like, you fucking bitch, you're lying.
You're like, doubt. No, of course not. Think of the smell. You haven't thought of the smell, you bitch. If you lie to me, I swear to God, I will cut your skin off. And displayed in a box, a glass box.
Man, I really can't wait for us to finish It's Always Sunny in like 30 years.
I don't know, but I feel like I'm you with It's Always Sunny, where I'm just watching it on Instagram. So now,
yeah, no, for sure, yeah. Always in the clips. I gotta get back into that. We got a couple seasons in. I gotta just commit, but
for sure.
No. The Wolf Among Us it has a lot of what makes Telltale so great, and arguably, I guess you would say it has like the best Telltale elements. But it also does have a lot of those elements that again made me not fall in love with Telltale games as a whole. Which is why it makes more sense, Phil, that I'm probably expecting you to enjoy some aspects of this game more than I did. Not to say I didn't enjoy it, because I really did. I'm really glad I played it. But like, this game doesn't make me want to go play a Batman, a Guardians, the other Walking Dead. Like, I don't have that desire, where I know you've played a few of those in your experience, and I'm assuming that's because you enjoy this model.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the Batman one, and yeah, the Batman one specifically is the other really good one. Jurassic and Guardian. Jurassic specifically is terrible. Guardians it's hit or miss. It's fine. I don't think I ever actually finished it. But yeah, let's get to our third takeaways here. Looking through my notes, trying to figure out which one I want to go with. Because there really is. This is one of those where we definitely are going to have like some bonus ones, because as far as like both positives and negatives, I will say like, it's one of those games where decisions don't necessarily feel like really big in the moment, but when you go back and from what I understand, like when you go back and like replay the game, you understand how big and how important those decisions were made. Like when you see so-and-so will remember that, or so-and-so noticed that, and all of that stuff. And that's always been a Telltale thing. But it really, like, you felt the weight of your decisions throughout the entire game. Like, there's a really big tension there between, like, restraint and rage. So I'm really interested to see, like, what kind of Bigby you played. Like, did he? I didn't watch your playthrough because I didn't want to spoil anything when you were playing it on Twitch. So, like, I'm very interested to see which Bigby route you went. Did you go for the sake of entertainment value, or did you try to play him a little bit more tempered? So yeah, between like all of your decisions obviously being very important, that's a staple for Telltale games, but like Bigby himself is such a complex character, because in an instant you can like comfort somebody and then also tell a little kid Toad he's a piece of shit. So like there's a lot of layers there.
Did you tell? Did you attack that child?
I was very
nice,
TJ.
Yeah, so was I.
I did
have
kick
a heart,
him out.
man. Oh yeah, no, they're on the farm.
Rules is rules, little frog. Your
hold on,
dad
did
is
you
a
keep?
shit.
But you kept the pig.
100%. Yeah.
Okay, good. Yeah, that's the only way. I feel like we just played the same exact way. I don't think
he's just drinking beer in the apartment. I'm not sending him to the farm.
I figure we'll talk. Colin. We'll talk about like
yeah.
some of those like maybe key moments that you're curious if I made a different decision. I'm sure we'll do that towards the end. But I knew that one you did for sure.
Yeah. No. Listen, TJ. Your dad's a turd, and he's responsible for these decisions. But best of luck.
Well, listen. I know we're excited to talk a little bit about our playthroughs here, so I'll go into my third, which is kind of a culmination of things to do with the story and is full of pros and cons. Like, this is my biggest, like, item to talk about because there's so much that we could, like, unlayer with this conversation. Like, when we talk about the story, which I know a lot of people praise, there's a lot going on in these 5 episodes. There's quite a bit of happening in all of these chapters of each of these episodes. And I think as we go on, there are some story beats that don't exactly work. I think I like the character relationships more than I liked the overarching story. And it's a very basic premise initially. It's kind of like, they're just doing it's a detective story essentially. There are little wrinkles that they're doing here and there, but there were just some things that were revealed and unveiled that I didn't always either get or I didn't expect, and not in like a, whoa, that was unexpectedly nice way. That was like oh, that's what we did. Like, that's a choice. And I think that has to do with some of the dialogue options and then also the options in general, not exactly yielding the results. I also thought there was, at times, a lot of restraint in, like, killing characters, like, fully committing to really doing it. There were a lot of fake outs happening. It's not that there's not death in this game, because there's death in this game. But I don't know, there were just times where I felt like there were some outs being given for the sake of the story, which then led me to the fact, Phil, that this game ends on a cliffhanger, which I did not know. So when I got to the end, I was like, what the fuck happened here? What? That was not spoiled for me. I didn't know it ended on a cliffhanger. So I just felt a little unfulfilled when it came to the story. Again, really enjoyed the world. I really enjoyed the character relationships, but from a story perspective, that was definitely one of the weaker aspects. I will mention, though, that with all the different choices you could have had, I'm sure there were some choices I wish I would have made that would have maybe changed my perception. And that definitely allows you to feel the need or want to do a second playthrough. For me, I got to see a lot of the percentage choices after each chapter and after each episode. That was a cool feature. Looking back on it, there aren't too many of those, though, that I would do over. So if that's the case, I feel pretty confident that maybe I just didn't like the story that I got, and I don't know how different my gameplay would be a second go-around.
Yeah, I think that's also kind of like addressing who you are as a gamer as well, because outside of like a Skyrim or I'm trying to think of like or BioShock, like those are really the only 2 games you've gone back and replayed. I don't go back and replay a lot of games either, but I know a lot of people will do that with a Dragon Age, with a Fallout, with a Mass Effect, because of the decisions. So I do think that people will go back and replay that quite a bit. Well, at least, in the 12 years it's been out, I'm sure plenty of people. And I bet like in the moment, if we were playing this episodically in 2013, 2014, we probably would have been like way more interested in those statistics as opposed to 12 years later. So, but yeah, as far as like the story goes, I definitely very much enjoyed it. And, but it does, like, in the middle, there's a little bit too much, like, I got to go back to the Trip Trap. I got to go back to Pudding and Pie. Like that in that middle section there, it does, like, it seems like it's kind of trying to like find its way a little bit. And that's really kind of like, I'm sure, a really difficult thing we've seen in storytelling, where the middle kind of like drags a little bit and you're trying to fill up a story. So yeah, I certainly can see that, as far as, or as far as like the story from overall. But yeah, I wouldn't go back and play this again, but I definitely would want to go on like YouTube and see what decisions people made and how that impacts the end of the game, or beginning, middle, and end of the game, to be honest with you. And yeah, I did watch a couple of videos on the ending to kind of get a better feel, because when it happened, I was like, wait, what? Like, what? And once again, like we alluded to, we're probably never going to get answers to any of these things, which is a huge, huge bummer. But yeah, I definitely get what you're saying, but I certainly enjoyed the story a lot. But yeah, there in the middle, it does like drag a little bit. So, but yeah, and I couldn't imagine waiting months in between the episodes to come out to continue the story. But I'm sure back then, honestly, like it was something to look forward to for sure.
Yeah, and then I'm reading up here, like I didn't even know this. Apparently, like the head of creative had spoken out, like in an article in 2017, that season 2 would not resolve the cliffhanger for Narissa and the connection to Faith there. And it's like, but that's a choice. Why would you? why would you do that? I guess it would be more narrative related stuff with Bigsby and Snow White, which I like Snow White at first. Didn't really like her.
Pissing me off at the end, man.
Yeah, didn't really start liking her.
Making me mad at the end.
Yeah, and I'm assuming that was intended, but like I don't know. It just again, some of the stuff just didn't land fully with me.
Did you at one point think she could be involved?
Oh, 100%. Yeah. She started flipping on everybody with this farm thing quickly. Breyer was calling it out in the chat. Was like, what's her fucking deal? Like, it was so funny.
That and then like it just seemed like she was so ready to step into that leadership role. I was like,
yeah,
what's going on with you, lady?
Yeah, do it, lady. But yeah, that's that's where we're at with that. Phil, are there any particular story beats that you chose to do that you want to know if I did differently?
Trying to think, because obviously like episodes 4 and 5 are definitely on my mind, which by the way, so the arm break itself wasn't that bad when it happens.
Oh, that's right.
Resetting the fucking arm is nuts.
Yeah, so for context, guys, so Phil hates exposed bones. That's like his thing.
Because it happened when he was as a wolf, but you put it back together when he's a man.
Right. So, first of all, Bloody Mary didn't have to step on your fucking arm like that. Didn't have to do that. She was
a pretty cool character.
She was cool. I didn't love what they did to her in the finale.
Sure.
She just turns into like a monster you fight.
Well, you don't know that's who Bloody Mary is.
I know. I just didn't. That wasn't interesting.
They're all monsters. They're like all monsters.
I understand. I'm just saying she was more interesting not as the monster. Anyway.
Okay.
I get that. But what I'm saying is she didn't have to break your arm like that, right? And then start of the next episode, it's like a whole thing. And I literally would not touch the controller. So the guy said it for me because I refused. I was like, I did it. I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I did it.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know I could just sit there.
It was just so like,
yeah, bro. Yeah, bro. The vintage. Come on, man.
That's
shit was rough, dude. But I'm trying to think of some of the ones early on. Because
is there anyone that you killed or like didn't want to kill? Like for example, I didn't save Prince Charming, I believe. I don't know if it's Prince Charming or if it's there was that guy that was in that house that like killed himself.
The husband but he wasn't dead.
Well, I didn't get there in time because I went to the frog's house.
Oh, I went to his house first.
Did you? So you saved him?
I saved him. He was around for the end for the finale.
Oh yeah, no, he died in.
He was already dead. Okay, yeah. So when you go to his house first, he's actually still alive. He didn't die from the gunshot wound. You find him and he's bloody and the bullet wound is there, but he's alive. But then that's when you first see one of the Tweedles. They pop up. Does that happen when you go to the frog's place first? Or
yes.
No? Okay.
Yeah. Did you kill either of them?
I didn't. I really wanted to.
I did.
Yeah, in the alley.
I did.
In the alley.
I killed one of them. I don't remember which one.
Did you kill them in the alley?
In the alley, I killed one of them.
I really wanted to, but something about Snow and those fucking eyes.
Yeah, I really played a balanced line on how bad I wanted to be with Bigsby. So I still felt like I played it cool in a lot of moments, but there were some moments where I'm like, fuck this. I'm going to go for it.
It is Bigsby, by the way. You're saying Bigsby because we had Tank Bigsby.
Oh, sorry, Bigby, yeah. Yeah, Bigsby is definitely what's in my brain, Jaguars football.
Tank Bigsby would have been... honestly, if there's a mod to put Tank Bigsby in the game, I would replay it.
Yeah, no, I agree. But yeah, so like there's definitely a lot of characters that kind of pop in and out. I'm trying to think if there was anybody else.
We definitely went in on Frog for not just getting his fucking glamour. Did you ever take any money? I didn't take any money till towards the end. I took the fraud money. Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't take money until the end. That was in Crane's coat when you go to the back of the butcher shop. That's the only money I took because I gave what's her name in the beginning my cash, so I didn't have any cash the rest of the game.
Oh. What were we
Yeah.
supposed to do with the cash?
There were different points in the game where you could give it to Frog, you could give it to somebody else, and you could so you could have paid off, paid the, oh my gosh, the troll, the bartender, the bar owner. You could have given her some money to pay for the damages stuff. So there were different moments in the story where you could have given people cash, but yeah, I kept
Makes sense.
I kept leaving it there. I'm trying to think. Did you? I guess. Well, towards the end, did you kill the Crooked Man right there in the factory, or did you give him a trial?
No, I threw him down the well.
Okay. Well, I meant, like, remember, don't you have an opportunity to kill him before to bring him in dead? Remember,
I don't think
in the very last chapter, when you're right after you fight Bloody Mary, you go up there and he's pointing the gun at you.
You could kill him. Yeah. No, I didn't kill him in the
You
factory,
gave
but I did throw him down the well.
I threw him down the well as well. I really wanted to rip his head off, but but no, I threw him down the well. So
yeah, probably the best for everybody.
Does Narissa show up in every playthrough? I wonder, as far as like being, because it was touch and go there at the end. As far as convincing people what to do, did you have that kind of like, they're starting to like.
Oh yeah,
side with
hey,
because at one point I thought I had them. They were all standing behind me, and I was like, "Oh, great!" And then
he just kept talking.
Like, oh my god!
I did at one point say he's spitting. I did say actively. I was like, well, he's actually making a lot of sense. I think I side with him too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up killing him. It's
how was your relationship with the huntsman from beginning to end? Towards the end, I softened on him.
I softened on him pretty quickly. So he was actually not an issue. There was one of the trolls, the douchebag troll that like I don't know if he's blind.
Yeah.
I did have to rip his arm off at one point. He did lose an arm very early on in the game. It's when you fight him.
That did not happen.
Yeah, no, I was like, I'm gonna rip your shit off. I'm like, so yeah, that happened.
I'm gonna rip your shit off is crazy.
So, dude, he was pissing me off.
Well, he ended up being ended up being pretty valuable towards the end. So I did not.
Yeah, I mean, he was pretty cool. Like after he kind of chilled.
He ripped his arm off.
He kind of chilled out after that, honestly.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just kind of looking at all the. It was Prince Lawrence. That's the character's name.
Lawrence. Yeah.
Yeah, there was Beauty and the Beast. I don't know that there's
interested in them.
Yeah, not really.
I wasn't very interested in them.
Oh, rich people, you're poor now.
Yeah, like, oh, you think I'm banging your wife? Like, yeah, I could fuck a girl, but I won't.
But I won't.
I think there is an opportunity to, or not there is like in the story where you can kick Beauty out of the room when you're like evaluating it, when you find the room with like the Snow White room.
Yeah.
Did you kick them out, or was she around for the whole thing?
No, she was around for the whole thing.
Same here.
As
it was happening, I was like, oh, maybe I should have told her to get the fuck out of the room. But yeah, but no, they didn't really interest me too much. They were definitely on like the lower tier of interesting characters.
Yeah, the strip club owner.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, what was his name?
Also, when those tits came on screen during my stream, I was like,
oh yeah, I wanted to ask how you dealt with that.
I was like, whoa,
yeah,
okay, I guess we're good.
What was his name?
But yeah, it was Georgie,
yeah, yep. little boy George.
Yeah.
Also, this Jack Horner, not as cool as the Jack Horner in one of the greatest films of all time, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish. Take a shot.
Yeah, Georgie and Vivian, they both died. They both died in my.
Oh, what did you do with Greenleaf's tree? That's actually Laura Bailey.
Oh. Mm-hmm. Snow wanted to burn it down. I kept it around, I believe.
I burnt it.
Oh.
I burned it. She pissed me off. She made me mad.
She's also one of the ones that were trying to turn on me at the end.
Yeah.
With the Crooked Man, yeah.
So I burnt that shit, and I'm glad.
Yeah, she did not like Snow. So, no. Yeah, I think we kept it.
Nah, I lit that shit ablaze, bro. I watched it burn. I think I roasted s'mores.
I don't think that's what happened.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he pulls out graham crackers, marshmallows, and Hershey's bars.
Pretty crazy.
You won't know. You didn't burn it. How do you know?
That's true. I have no clue. But yeah, this game for a game that came out in 2013, extended into 2014 episodically, like, this was a really good time. I can understand why it has somewhat of a cult following. I'd say it's a little more than that, at this point, but
I think
mean,
it's like the Telltale game outside of the I think it's on par with The Walking Dead as far as popularity.
I would agree.
And that I don't know if you've watched the trailer from 3 years ago. It looks awesome, the sequel trailer. And as far as stylistically, it still holds like that gritty noir style, but it's like graphically, obviously, you can tell it's much better. Because let's be honest, like this Telltale engine, even in 2013, I think like wasn't the greatest thing, you know. So I can't even imagine the improvements they would make. So now we're part of the people that, because I would play the second one. Would you?
I would. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I'll tell you this, as much as I say I'd play the second one, I'm considering getting Dispatch, which comes out around the time of this episode.
Dispatch on my wish list. I cannot wait for Dispatch.
I played the demo. The demo's only like 30 minutes.
Okay.
The issue with Dispatch is going to be, and for those of you that don't know, it's an episodic adventure game. It's developed by Ad Hoc Studio. My understanding, it's a team made up of like former Telltale game people and devs. So that interests me. From like, the dialogue is quirky, it's funny. That's why I might play it.
Like crazy.
Also the animation. The game is like, it's like a hacking, like, it's not even a hacking. It's got like, you're dispatching heroes. So you're on a screen and you're sending them to locations and you're looking at their traits. And like, I just don't know if you can make a whole game about that and make it compelling. So I'm a little unsure.
It borders on like simulation stuff, which like isn't your favorite, but it's my thing. You know what I mean?
It is.
Like,
Yeah. So I think it's going to be episodic. I will be curious how much it is going to be, but I am open to it. Like, definitely very much Telltale games if it was The Boys and Invincible coded 100%. And it looked better.
Yeah, that Invincible, we're not going to talk about Invincible animation. I'm enjoying the story.
Yeah, sure.
We'll say that. So, I guess the last thing I'll ask Eric is, you know, we have been speaking to more and more graphic artists and comic book writers and creators, and you know, is this something that, like, I would go to a comic book store and find the Fable series to read and also just add to a collection? Is there, you know, are you getting any closer to becoming, like, we've already dove into manga, you specifically, like, how many more fandoms can we add, really? It's like, it's imagine if, like, we did have, like, some sort of infinity glove, and it's just a million different stones, like... I can understand if, like, you have to cut it off somewhere, but
yeah, no,
when we're seeing
like,
things like Mad Dog Morgan, we're like, fuck, that's cool, man. Like,
I'm really
like to
excited.
have a comic book.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get my hands on that graphic novel. Like, it's more like the aesthetic and like the collector item of it. Like that, I could kind of see more.
Like if there was like an art of The Wolf Among Us, I would buy that book.
Oh, for sure. From what I saw, I don't think the game looks very much like the Fable series. Does it? I think they're pretty different as far as style goes. You know, not like fundamentally different, but Telltale has something as far as the look of the game.
It looks more like a manga, honestly. The Fables.
That's what I'm saying. So for that reason, for The Wolf Among Us, probably not, unless it was something that looked like the game, because I really love the aesthetic of the game. The aesthetic, it's one of my favorite looking games as far as style. Like we talked about style right at the beginning. This game has a ton of it. And it really carried a lot of the game for me.
Okay, well, hold on. Does this change your mind? Apparently, there is a Batman versus Bigby, a Wolf in Gotham crossover comic that came out in 2022.
All right, sign me up.
I would definitely read that. That's awesome. I got to look into where we can find that. But yeah, Eric, I mean, overall, we had a lot of positive things to say about this. Again, even if the story lags a little bit in the middle, and I think this was a great suggestion by, once again, Patreon member Vintage. So shout out to Vintage for recommending this game. Eric, anything else you think we should discuss? Anything we missed? Any other decisions? I'm trying to think of like what else happened. I know for sure we're forgetting some, but like there are just so many within the game. Oh, I guess for the girl, God, I can't remember her name. The original girl with the ribbon. Did you ever try and yank a ribbon, I guess? Because I knew, when I saw that ribbon in the first episode, I knew what Fable this was. I'm sure you weren't necessarily familiar. So, like, what did you do with the ribbons?
I did go to take it off of Vivian, but she stopped me, and then she did it herself. So, after that, I was like, oh, well, I guess I'm just not going to rip them off anymore. So.
Yeah. So
also,
I guess, okay, and that's how do you decipher the ending? I guess as far as who do you think was who? Do you think it was? Oh my gosh, what was her name?
Faith.
Yeah, do you think it was who do you think was who in the beginning and like who was Narissa, who was Faith? Like, do you have like a read on that, or what do you think happened?
I didn't even clock that.
Yeah.
When the credit rolled, I said, "What just happened?"
Yeah.
Well, what was that? And I had to look it up. Yeah, I didn't know that there was a correlation between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever correlation they had, I missed it. I just like whoop right over my head.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that, and you know, a lot of layers to the story that we didn't even get into. But yeah, just
I did want to talk about Bluebeard really quick. I fucked with Bluebeard.
Of course you did.
Dude.
I fucking hated that guy. Why did he burn shit in the apartment? I still don't buy. How did he get off scot-free? I still don't buy that he was like, I was just trying to. I didn't want anyone else to see what was going on with Crane.
I loved his like Kratos level voice too. Like he looked like Kratos
that?
a little bit.
Who was that? Let's see.
The actor, I think he plays Lee in The Walking Dead. So
okay.
I mean, he's a Telltale guy. It looks like I saw a lot of Telltale stuff.
Yeah, and also the guy that did Big B, he also voiced quite a few. He's in Metal Gear Solid, StarCraft. Okay, so he's definitely like he is a big time video game voice actor. So yeah, a lot of really, really solid performances. But yeah, of course you fucked with him. He pissed me off. He made me so mad. Again, burning all that stuff there in the apartment doesn't sit right with me. We just kind of like let that go. Oh, I was very mean to the monkey. Any chance I could get.
No.
I was fuck that monkey, man. What was his name?
Whoa. Why are you mean to the monkey, man?
You know why. What was his name?
That's crazy. I don't remember. Monkey?
Buffkin.
Ah, Buffkin.
Fuck
yeah,
Buffkin. I was mad. I treated him like shit at every possible corner. Terrible at his job. Obviously a terrible animal, amongst the worst, people might say. And and then he gave him wings, which reminded me of Wicked, so it made me even angrier. So
yeah. Are you gonna go see that?
I feel like I have to. So I'm just not going to go with anybody else. I'll just go by myself. So.
Good. Yeah. You stay miserable by yourself in your solo seat.
Yeah.
Buffkin was cool. Buffkin was cool.
He sucked at his job and at life. So he was a drunk and he didn't do anything correctly until we told him to. So that's how we'll end it.
Buffkin was a drunk and a fiend.
Fiend. He sucked. So anyway, what did you guys think of The Wolf Among Us? If you have played it, do you think we'll ever see a sequel? I would very, very much love for that to happen, but who knows at this point. So thanks so much for checking out this episode. If you want to find more episodes from the Wait For It podcast or anything else we are doing, click the Linktree link in the show notes of this and each and every single episode. You can find us on social media. Follow us on Instagram, TikTok. Join our Discord community. Follow us on Twitch, where we are streaming basically every single week. YouTube, like, share, and subscribe. And then make sure to follow Eric and I on our personal pages as we navigate our own journeys separately as far as content creation and voice acting. If you head on over to your favorite podcast player, make sure to give us 5 stars, recommend us, all of that stuff. Very much helps when it comes to keeping the podcast growing, and we appreciate everybody that has helped us get there, get to the point that we are at now. But if you want a hand in the next Patreon month, which will be coming up in 2026, and you want to, let us know what content you want to see on our end, as well as maybe even get episodes early amongst other perks, Eric will let you know about that before wrapping us up.
So you may have heard this is Patreon month here at the Wait For It podcast, and that's where patrons of the show, Briar, T3 Kato, Vintage Macaroni, Corey from The World Is My Burrito, Nick Casparo, the author of the Vitellarium series, and Botter from the Shortbox podcast are supporting us monthly on that platform in exchange for behind the scenes and early access to episodes like this one. They also get the opportunity to choose select episodes like this one during our Patreon months every year. So if you want to be a part of that community, you want to help grow the show, and you want to be a part of everything that we do, make sure to join us there. But all the free stuff that take only a moment of your time is also very much appreciated. With all of that being said, my name is Mr. Eric Almighty. That is my co-host, Phil the Filipino. And please don't forget, we release new episodes every Wednesday for the podcast, and all you got to do is wait for it.
Stop.
This is the Wait For It podcast.